Okay, guys. So, I've been debating posting this video like literally all day long. And I made a post earlier about how I feel like my ex's adoption had affected him because he was adopted as a baby and he didn't find out until he was 8 years old, right? And in that post, um, I had mentioned that I was put into foster care when I was 8 years old and then later adopted at 12, and how both of those things are very traumatic experiences, even though adoption is beautiful and everything. And I think if you're able to do it, you should do it. There's so many children that need homes. But I decided to share this little thing that I thought of this morning. It's not really a little thing, it's actually a big part of my life. So, again, when I was 8 years old, I was taken from my birth mother, me, my little brother, my little sister. On my mom's side, we were all raised together. And, I mean, very fortunately, we were all taken together, put into foster care. We only went to two homes, and then when we got with the Reeses, 4 years later, we were adopted by them. So we were all kept together. So we were very fortunate because a lot of times siblings get, separated. Uh, and I do actually, on my father's side, I actually do have two other half sisters and a stepbrother, still out in Missouri. Some of us keep in contact, but whatever. So, growing up, like, I was fine at first, but then as I got into my teen years, I hit puberty and everything, I did start having some mental health issues, which, I mean, can you blame me? I mean, really, I was taken away from my birth mother that I very clearly remember, and I had to deal with the fact that no family members came to bat for my little brother, my little sister, and I, to take us in when we were taken away. It was just like the entire family abandoned us. So I had to deal with that. So, of course, like, I had some issues with it. And I developed some mental health issues. Maybe I would have had those mental health issues anyways, but I definitely think that this contributed to it. And I ended up having a few suicide attempts, right? I didn't know how to deal with my emotions. My parents didn't know how to deal with them. Obviously, I'm not going to get into that whole thing, but there was a point in time that when I was 17, I did end up trying to commit suicide again, and it was a pretty serious attempt. And after I got out of the psych ward, I met with my therapist, and she said, "Are you going to do this again?" And I said, "Absolutely." Right? I was just so fed up with life. I felt like nobody loved me. I couldn't see a point in living, which was, when you think about it, it's so sad, 17 years old, right? So, I ended up getting put into a residential facility for kids. And, kids and teenagers. So, I get put there, and once a week, we would have family counseling sessions, family therapy, right? And be me, my mom, and my dad. And I had a hard time opening up around my parents for some reason, but I tried to explain to them during one of these group therapy sessions that I never felt like they really wanted me, right? I always felt like I was the ugly kid. I was the problem kid. I mean, I was never, like, a problem in school. I was never a problem, legally or anything like that with, the law. I was just mentally ill. But I felt like they never really wanted me. And they're like, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well, I feel like you just adopted me because me and my younger brother and sister kind of came as like a package, right? And they still didn't quite understand. So I was like, okay, let me explain to you this way. I was like, you know how you buy like a variety pack of popsicles? And they were like, yeah. And I'm like, you know how like everybody likes the red popsicles, the orange popsicles, the purple popsicles, but nobody ever eats the yellow popsicle, right? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, I feel like the yellow popsicle. I feel like nobody wants them, but it's like in the package that you feel like you have to buy, right? And the family therapy session ended. I go back to my dorm or whatever. The next day, my mom sent me a bouquet of yellow roses. 24 long stem yellow roses, and which coincidentally happens to be her favorite flower. That was actually what was in her bouquet at her wedding. That was the flowers that we had at her funeral. That's like the yellow rose is what's very representative of my mom. And I never put that together, how that was interesting. But anyways, she sent me a large bouquet of yellow roses and a card that said, "We love yellow popsicles." I don't know. I just thought I'd share that story. All right. Love you guys. Bye.